Hey, it's Hutch from Hutch High Perf. So I was getting ready to take the fenders and everything off the front of the car and get the harness out, but I found a fun little project that I'm going to do real quick. So let's go take a look. Like I said, I was about to take all this stuff apart and then I remembered something. So if you see right here, that canister over on the other side, it's a charcoal canister. All these cars had them, but I'm not using the evaporative emission system on this. I'm doing something different. So I don't need to have that there. At the same time, I don't want this ugly ball vacuum canister sitting right here on the top of the fender. Just, I don't know, it looks ugly, so I'd rather not have it if I don't have to. And so I thought, you know what? What if I put the vacuum canister over there? Because I don't have the cruise control, so I don't need the vacuum port for that. All I need is a vacuum source to go to the AC vacuum line that goes into the car, that supplies the vacuum, that, you know, does the cutoff for the heat going to the heater core when you turn the AC on, all that stuff. So I got this guy. It's an aluminum canister, and it comes with 2 ports on the top, and the same type of brake booster plug you put in here. It's like a one-way valve, same type of thing. So I thought, you know what? That looks very similar to that. So why don't I just bolt this in place of that? And then at first glance, you might not even recognize that that's different. And it might be a nice, cool feature that maybe not everybody would catch. And honestly, with this car, I'm really trying to do that with a lot of the things. I want it to look like it could have been stock, that if you're not a G-body fan and you're not readily knowledgeable with these cars, when you look at it, you might go, oh, that probably came that way. Or, you know, at least your eye moves past it and you don't notice it, which, I don't know. For a lot of this stuff, I'm just trying to do that. I'm trying to make modifications to the car that no one's ever going to realize was modified. That's my goal, as ridiculous as that is. I mean, obviously, it's going to have a dual carb big block in it, so yeah, you're going to notice that, but I want you to notice that. It's all these little things. It's the wiring harness. It's all the other little stuff that I want you to kind of just have your eye completely miss and just concentrate on the one big thing. So anyway, let me get that one out of the car, and then we'll start looking at how to make some brackets for this, because this has like 2 threaded bolts on the side that would hold it on. So maybe I'll make some type of like a L bracket or something like that to hold it. I have to get it out of the. Let me get that out, and then we'll see what we're working with. 10 millimeter, 2 bolts. Oops. I think I got a little tongue-tied before. It is EEC, which is Evaporative Emissions Control. The vent from the gas tank, the line would come all the way up to here and go into here, and there's charcoal inside this, which, oh, look at the mess down there. Charcoal inside this basically just filtered out the gas fumes. I'm not doing that, so don't need it. All right, let's get to the floor and trace this out on some metal. All right, so we'll just trace this out. That's good. Good there. All right, now I just got to join those together. Get a straight edge. Come here. All right, there she is. So the tank is aluminum, so I don't have the ability to weld aluminum, so I've got a MIG. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this the base. Oh, I should have done this right away. Make sure my holes are in here, so I know where to drill. Okay. It looks like it's up on by the shape of the bolt. It's on the outer edge, so I'll try to pop my holes there, and then I can just kind of expand my way out until it fits. All right, cut this out. Like I was saying, I'm going to use this as the base, and then the whole vacuum canister will sit on that, and there's 2 bolts on the side. And what I'll do is I'll make a second, just basically an L shape, come up straight from there, bolt on the side, and then this whole bracket will sit in. And paint it all black, you won't even know it's there. That's the plan. Let's give her a test fit, see if she's going to work. Yeah, I think that's going to do. Look like I cut myself 1 new thread there. All right, so that is in. So now let's test fit our canister. Well, the easy project just got complicated. So I thought I was doing real cool. There it is down in there. And from this side, you kind of look at it and you're like, could be the same thing, sort of. But the problem is the threads are right over top the connecting bolt on this side. I guess I could make it longer and drill out a hole like right by the edge, I guess, like right over here, and extend this farther out right to the edge of that. Maybe, or maybe I should just work the problem and come up with something different. Let's see what I can think of. So I talked about plan B. I'm going to try plan C real quick. This is the actual clamp that comes with it. So I use just a pair of oversized nuts as a spacer. I'm going to see if I can't just make a vertical bracket and hope that that stays in place when I do it. Let's move this around and see what I'm talking about. So instead of attaching it over here somewhere, I'm thinking about making a plate that comes straight up off of this. Maybe even have a second piece over here, and I'm going to have 2 points of contact to bolt it down. And then just have the bar come straight up and then meet with this. Put it in like so. So I took my crossbar that I just made. That's probably going to be useless now. So I'm wondering if, I don't know if you can see that. So if I just have a vertical piece that I can bolt this to, I might be able to bolt the clamp to that. Yeah. And then just bolt it right to the side of the fender right there. fact, I can probably just use this bar. So if I bolted, like just use the existing bolt hole, bolted there, and then maybe make a piece on the back side here, almost like a T coming off that I could weld to this to give it some more support. So that way it couldn't just do this and wallow out the hole eventually. Like if it was held here and held there, maybe this would be strong enough to just hold that in place because it would sit right on the flat of this. I might even put some type of like thin, like, I don't know, stick-on insulation or something right here. Just enough to like give it a cushion so it won't sit there and rattle. But yeah, that might work. Let me see what I can come up with. Let's see. Right about there. All right, so that would go right there. All right, get the rest of my bar. So I use that hole on the bottom. Yeah, bring that up a little bit, give myself some leeway. I wonder if I can mark that from the back side. Yeah, maybe I'll just guesstimate it. Does that look about right? That gives me a little, maybe just a little bit more. Yeah, like that. All right, so I noticed an immediate flaw in my plan as soon as I went to put this thing down before I tacked it. And I'm like, wait a minute. If I put that even with that, how is that bolt supposed to miss this bolt if they were both the same? They would just hit each other on the... It was stupid. So I realized, thankfully, I realized my mistake before I finished the whole thing and then found out I was stupid afterwards. So now I just offset it so the two of them will be able to exist in slightly different places next to each other and they won't interfere. That looks perfect. Might have to bend this a little bit more toward, well, let's see. Let's put the thing right in there. All right. Okay, so if that goes down in there and sits like that, yeah, that will mate up with the bracket, and I can either weld this to that, or I can bolt it on. I have to look and see what I want to do here. But yeah, I think that's going to work out pretty well. So there it is. It's it's a little awkward. Yeah, it's not ideal, but you're not really going to see it, so I don't think it matters. But the way I decided to design this, I can't unbolt the one bracket without unbolting the other bracket to get to the other bracket. So it's a hot mess. Yes, I know, but all this will be painted black and you really won't see it. But yeah, it looks like, let me get it down in here. So it looks like that is going to fit perfect right there. So now I just got to drive the two screws in that hold this bracket. And then once those are in place, I know the bracket's where it's supposed to be. I can go ahead and blow this thing apart and just paint everything, and then you won't even see it. Okay. See if all my measuring was correct. Where's that hole? There it is. Well, it appears so. Let's get this bolted up. Curious to see if this thing wiggles at all. Like I said, I might put some type of like thin insulation or something rubber on the bottom just to keep this thing from like rattling. Yeah, that may sit there and do that. I might have to, we'll see. I might have to put something on the bottom. This side's really good this way, but this way it just got a little bit of flex from the bracket. I'm not going to cry too bad about it. I can always put another brace down in here if I had to. But yeah, that's not bad. The real test is going to be, when you look over there, do you think, hey, that's not supposed to be there? I mean, to me, it kind of looks like it's supposed to. So it'll just have, it'll have the same size hoses really running off the top, and vacuum hose, and I'll just feed them in through that fender. You'll never see them. So that's my plan anyway. I think that's going to work out just fine. That looks sweet. That looks really, really cool. I like that. And you know, I'm thinking, come around here. So like I was saying, this way it's fine. Like it won't move this way, but this way it's got some flex to it. There's already a bolt down here. I could make a bracket that comes up and just feeds into this bottom bolt and nut here, and that would keep that side movement from happening because it would hold it in place. I may do that. Paper template, traced on the metal, put in a vise, and beaten like it owes you money. Drill some holes, test fit, let's leave that a little bit loose so I can work this other one in. I'm going to need both hands. All right, I think that's tight. Good and tight. Here's the test. Where I wouldn't say that's 100%, it's definitely way better. And I think if I put some type of insulation, something down on the bottom between this and the inner fender, it'll create just a little bit more space. But yeah, that got the movement down to hardly anything. So I think we're good on making bolts and brackets and bolts. Now it's time to paint. Well, while we watch the paint dry, I think this would be an excellent time for you to click the subscribe button. Did he subscribe? No, he's just sitting there. Well, that's it for this one. It's just paint drying now. I'm just going to pack it back in the box and start taking the front end apart. I got to figure out what to do next week. I'm sure I'll think of something. Anyway, this is Hutch from Hutch High Perf. Thanks for being here, guys. Have a good one. Take it easy.